This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Welcome to the Front Porch. Real conversations about life, leadership, and perseverance. Each week, Dennis Polian and Jay Davis bring you inspiring stories and lessons to help you grow, lead, and thrive. Pull up a chair. The conversation starts now.
Welcome back to another Front Porch. We're in a new studio, Studio 1A here at Rogue Media.
Wow.
Jay Davis, Dennis Polian, and we're pretty excited to have a guest that we had, one of our original episodes, Twila Hieselman with LimeLily. We're almost a year in, Jay, so I thought it would be good to catch up with Twila because she has gone through what I think a lot of leaders go through, which is to have to pivot a strategy that, right, you spent the better part of a year building and then had to essentially, in your mind, really do a 180.
It was a complete pivot for sure.
Yeah. After all of that effort in building a long-term, strategic plan for the overall original focus. So I thought that would be a great conversation to have as we get into our second year of this Front Porch podcast.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Me too. Thanks for having me back.
So can I present something to the conversation before we get really serious?
I mean, I've never known you to
not
show that to
be
the
serious.
camera first, and then I'll just put that right there. I don't know if you know what that means.
It's not an area code. 213.
No?
It means 18.
It is an area code, but
It
for
is an
this
area
purpose,
code,
it's not.
but for this purpose, it is not. For all our loyal listeners out there, know that Twila is a big Green Bay Packers fan. And if they listen to the episode, they know I'm a huge Chicago Bears fan. So that was the halftime score of the playoff game. And then it went to 21-6 after three quarters. And then it went to 27-31.
Oh,
Bears. Wah, wah, wah.
You mean the Hammond Hamsters now?
It's
Not the Chicago Bears anymore. It's the Hammond Hamsters.
You can talk about the Bears anytime you like because no matter what you say about the Bears, they will have lost to the Colts in the Super Bowl.
This is now.
Despite giving up a touchdown.
Stop living in the past, Dennis. Stop living in the past.
I just had to get that out there. Our banter in the previous episode was a little, off the record.
Thanks.
I just wanted to make sure everybody.
I had completely forgotten about that because, of course, I couldn't care less about either team.
Well, and really it's invalid because, they're not the Chicago Bears anymore.
Well,
they're the Hammond Hamsters
Technically speaking, they're still the Chicago Bears for now.
Anyway,
For now.
I digress.
Yeah, that is a big digression.
Which we lived right outside of Hammond in Griffith. So it's mind-blowing to me to think that we'll actually have the Chicago Bears in Northwest Indiana.
It's
unreal.
Yeah, I think it's awesome for Indiana.
It is.
And
It's not going to happen.
And it's, precedent. The New England Patriots, before they got Gillette Stadium built, they had signed an agreement with the state of Connecticut to move to just outside Hartford, where UConn plays now. The original design of that stadium was for the Patriots, and then they adjusted it after Massachusetts. And the Patriots were able to strike a deal. We'll see what happens in the great state of Illinois. I know Mayor Daley's not around to fix the problem. So.
Right.
We don't even want to go down that road.
Well, and if you talk to some of the aldermen and some of the city people, they're like, that's fine. They want to leave. Let them leave. Kind of like let them eat cake. Well, that didn't work out so well either, did it?
Well, the Bears are a business like any other business, right? And they have to figure out what's best for them. Fun fact,
Absolutely.
It's a serious fact, but it's a real fact. If they went to Arlington Heights and built the stadium, just like any other company that would say a company was going to build a manufacturing plant there the value of the value of the property after development would be so high that no company would really be willing to pay the property taxes on that. And that's the actual reason they're leaving. So there's in the corporate sense, whether it's sports or not, it's a legitimate
Absolutely.
business concern.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. Absolutely it is.
And I applaud the State House in Indiana. Speaking from experience, not the most smooth sailing type of group to work with over time, but better than Illinois. But they moved fast and aggressive.
Absolutely.
And,
in
if
Hammond,
it does happen,
city officials moved. Thomas McDermott. I mean, he was instrumental in that deal, and kudos to him. If it does happen, I think it's really cool for Indiana. But what people don't realize is that Jay, and Twila, but that part of Indiana really is Chicagoland. It is. For sure. It's part of Greater Chicago. Absolutely. When we talk about our times in the region, in Northwest Indiana, and we tell people, we lived in the Chicago area for 10 years. Because they'd never know if we said we lived in Griffith, Indiana. Oh, where's that? Is that down by Terre Haute? Yeah. And when I lived in Mundelein, I certainly didn't say, oh, yeah, I lived in Mundelein, Illinois. And everybody would be like, where's that? So we all of our family said we lived in Chicago. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry to get it off track.
Back to LimeLily.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks. You were my friend.
2,
anyway.
1, 3.
I was actually going to show up in my cheese head today. And because I wanted to be nice, I didn't do that. All right. And here you come with 213. 21-3. Nice.
Well, there's always next year.
That's right.
Yeah. It's a long distance dedication from Casey Kasem.
That's right.
All right. All right. Back on track.
Do you need to set your beeper again or what?
No, we're good. All right. So you've had to change your business plan too, Jay. I'm curious, Twila, I want to hear you talk about your experience the last few months and what you've had to do. And then Jay, I want you, if you could, to make a comparison from an athletic performance standpoint, going through the same kind of thing. Like, even if and I may not be on target like that with this, but like maybe the parallel to having to change your golf swing in the middle of a season.
Oh, that's not good.
Well, that seems personal, doesn't it? He knows the story.
Right.
Yeah.
Ouch.
He knows it hurts. He's coming after me now.
Yeah,
sorry.
I like to get people off their notes.
Josh, can we edit the first part and start over?
I have a position available, Jay, if you're interested.
No, just talking about the adversity, the mental strength, the grit that it takes to have to do that, or avoid making certain pieces
and
of
the mindset,
change and the mindset
that it takes to do that, right? Like, that's where I've been out lately. I mean, even since you and I have talked in the last week or so, and thank you for really getting me out of my head that day. Because I started looking at, okay, where do I need my mind to be? And what does my mindset need to be out of this? And I was really focusing on past experiences and, this feels just the same. And here we go again. And here I am back in the same, square one, trying to fit square peg into a round hole. And when is this going to end and everything, instead of having the mindset that I'm working feverishly on now in just staying in the vision and staying grounded in that vision and visualizing that every day. And kind of similar to a golf swing, because I was just listening to the Ed Milet show the other day, and he was talking about that, right? And how you have to really say singular focused, but sometimes you can focus on, this is when I've always missed, instead of really visualizing that you're going to make the putt. And so that's where I've been with it, right? And this pivot is, okay, I stayed long enough in the old stories and the old recordings, and geez, why does this keep happening? And, is it ever going to be different? Am I ever going to get through this? And into, yes, because I have a different vision. And if I just stay grounded in that vision every day, it will work.
Life moves fast, but the unexpected doesn't care about your calendar. At the Polian Agency, we help successful families protect what they've worked so hard to build. From life insurance to smart coverage strategies, we tailor protection that grows with you, so you're prepared for whatever's next. The Polian Agency, where protection meets purpose. Visit PolianAgency.com or call 254-772-1444 to start the conversation.
So you all had a conversation, obviously, that I wasn't privy to, but
we did, and Dennis was great because sadly, over the last 4 or 5 months, we've had 5 deaths of very dear friends and family members just back to back. And they've all been in my age range. And so mortality was sitting in, right? I'll be 61 at the end of this year. And so it was really hitting hard. And Dennis the other day so eloquently said, well, why don't you stop focusing so much on your mortality and put that energy toward your vision and your business? Or you said complaining about my mortality.
Did I say
and
the
I
word
said,
complain?
You did.
Did I
and
say
I
you
said,
were on the complain
I'm not,
train?
You did. And I said, I'm not complaining about my mortality. And you said, well, if you're always dwelling on it and thinking about it and talking about it, yes, you are. So take that energy and start focusing on the vision and start talking about the vision and where you're going and what you're doing instead of, how long you're not going to live, because nobody knows how long they're going to live or how long they're not going to.
Right. And that was sparked, right? Because you went to a wedding in Montana.
Yes.
Drove through the Dakotas, saw all the beautiful
yes
nature out there, the
Mount
Great
Rushmore.
Wide West, and right, and then
Pet the
when
bison out
we
the
all
window.
go and have those experiences, right, we start to think about, what am I doing with myself? Why isn't anything moving faster than I want it to be?
Yeah, my big question was, what is all of this for?
Mm-hmm.
Really, what is all of this hard work for? Right? Like, what's the real reason?
Yeah. It's easy to fall into that trap. And I don't mean trap in a negative way, but we get, when we're outside of the daily grind, if the grind has been eating us up a little, right, it's easy to start to think about the what ifs. What if I did this instead of that? Maybe second guess our decisions, things like that. Well, in the meantime, you were dealing with these things, but you had already started your shift from a focus on essentially client retainer, corporate gifting with an unbelievable reputation, high level of service, to doing that, but also being able to leverage technology for taking care of people who can't necessarily afford retainers, right? But now they become your clients and you can service them the same way and all of those. And there's this whole different level of energy. And then all of a sudden you get to take a break and you're like, and we all go through it. Almost like, Jesus Christ, did I make the right decision?
Right.
What am I doing this for?
Why? What? Where? Yeah.
And the sad part is, as a business owner, you almost don't get that luxury.
No, and when they say it's lonely at the top,
that's exactly where I was going.
It really is, right? Because there's not very many people who are in your shoes that you can turn to. Mm-hmm. And even, there are a lot of business owners out there. Are there a lot of 61-year-olds that have just gone through what we've gone through, who just pivoted within the last year in their business anyway? And, that drilled down. Well, probably not. Maybe there are. I'm sure there are. They're not in my circle.
Yeah.
Right. So it's pretty lonely at the top.
Yeah. That's a test. I mean, that's a mental test and an emotional test.
And I mean, you know, my golf background, working with 4 different sports psychologists, it was the same message, you know, provided in a different way. But I always think back to, it's 5 to 7 times easier to think about a negative than it is forcing yourself to be positive. But it's kind of interesting. I had this in my agency, and kind of on point with what we're talking about. It was life insurance. We have this new platform, and the staff was very much making sure that they got the message out that on this new accelerated platform that 1 in 10% of the people get pulled out for testing. And I said, why would we ever say that? There's a 90% success rate here.
Right.
Why are we putting them in that frame of mind when we can say, you know what? 90% of the people that go through this process get approved.
Right.
Why do we go to the, hey, just want to let you know. And
1 out of 10 will be.
1 out of 10. So now you take prospects, clients, whatever, in a situation where they really need that. They don't need it, but you need to educate them on this. But why would we ever frame it up like that?
Right.
Because it's easier to say that than it is, you know what? We got a 90% success rate on this platform. Can't wait for you to go through the process.
Well, and you think it's the truth. We need to tell people the truth.
That is the truth.
Well, it is the truth. But both are true, right? Both are true, that 90% get passed.
Right.
Or 1 out of every 10 don't. Both are true.
You know, I think the difference is that when people, this might get me in trouble, but at this point, I don't care.
I was going to say, when have you ever cared about that?
Turned him into a renegade.
Honestly,
Twila, huh?
when have you ever cared?
Most people, when it's not their money, really don't care how they present anything. But when you're the business owner and it's your money, you care about how you present the product, the circumstance, the level of service, the communication. Yes,
absolutely.
Honesty matters, but how it's framed is a window into your frame of mind.
That's right.
And there is a different level of ownership with people who have owned a business versus people who are just working in somebody else's business. And
agreed.
Like
100%.
And I've said this to Jay before. We've talked about it. I don't know if we've talked about it actually on air. In golf, one of the things I respect so much about golfers is, they have a team behind them at the range and on Zoom, and on the phone during the week, and they have their caddy on their back. But when they step up to the ball after a decision's been made, they're by themselves.
It's them.
There's a camera 3 feet away on a tripod with 1 million people behind that lens, like for the John Deere Classic. Right. So if it's the U.S. Open, how many more million people are watching that? You are so alone in that moment. And that's, like I was watching Chris Goddard up after yesterday's tournament. He shot a 62 to come back and win the tournament, and he was so emotional. And I'm seeing people online just who have no idea what that guy's going through, basically criticize him for being emotional when he is essentially isolated,
right,
in a fishbowl the majority of his workday. Now he's not alone; he's surrounded, but he's isolated, and that, Jay, because you've had to live it and experience. And that mindset, I think, is very similar to a business owner who's trying to build something, who's trying to be successful, and has all of these people around them who really don't have the same ownership stake. It's taker versus giver attitude.
Yes,
in my opinion.
And I agree.
Which is why you get that mindset difference when you're speaking to a potential client.
Absolutely. And even when I've had experience that even when you give people a stake, so they do have even a little bit of ownership into the company, they still don't take the risks, make the decisions, and they
I
still
could offer
don't
somebody a trip to Paris
own
first
some-
class. I don't know if it would change anything.
Right. But I mean, I've had people that have had a piece of my company that still didn't treat it
Like theirs.
Yeah. And so it's lonely at the top, and that's okay.
That's why frustrating too.
It's why it's the top. Right? Because those of us who can handle that loneliness are the ones who succeed.
Yep.
So how did we get here? So this whole conversation, how did you get here from the retainer kind of corporate gifting to now we're going retail, kind of one-off type deal, or?
Well, we're adding that in.
Okay.
We're adding that in.
Okay.
We still have the model, the agency model, right? Where we're doing the retainers, we're doing the scale programs and recurring gifting programs and all of that. Our clients were just coming to us and, they were saying, hey, I just need a quick birthday gift, or I need this, or I need that. And it was one-offs. And we've been getting a lot of that. And in this economic strain that we're all in, we're going to continue getting that for quite a while. And so I brought that to the mastermind and said, hey, we've got to pivot here, because we're not always going to do the win on the big retainers. And, companies don't have $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 just to pay us to put their gifting programs together. So we've got to do something else. So we've put together a line of ready to ship gifts, which are just one-off gifts that are the most popular, most trending items, things.
So there are things in the baskets already.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yep. And they're inventory that that we carry on a regular basis anyway. And so we just put.
So you got some depth there.
Oh gosh, yeah, we've got about 100 gifts that are going to be launching in that line, in that ready to ship line, so that when somebody goes on the website or calls and says, hey, we just need one gift for this or two gifts for that, well, they can just do that online and don't have to
probably shouldn't ask this
wait
question,
for any.
but do they get it at the same price? Or, I mean, it's obviously a la carte, so it's going to be a different price, but in terms of
it's not
margin,
custom.
kinda?
It's not custom, right?
Okay.
Because the recurring gifting programs are customized to that brand, tailored to either their clients or to their employees that they're gifting to, things like this. So this ready to ship line is pre-curated.
Okay, so you got a certain set of SKUs that they can pick
from.
Yeah.
This is, here's a whiskey box, here's a wine box, here's a movie night, here's a pizza night, here's a whatever that they can choose from. And we've curated those gifts in a way through our experience of 20 years of doing this, what people like, what they gravitate towards and what sells the best and everything. So we've put all that into this curated line of gifts that are one-off, which is really kind of cool. Which is different because it brings a whole new challenge to the game, because now we're inventory heavy, labor intensive.
Right. Cash flow.
Cash flow. Absolutely. Right. So, and when you're doing this in our world, in the world of consumables, you've got expiration dates. So those things better sell, or that money is just getting thrown into the trash, because you can't put something in a gift box that's expired or even close to expiration, because you have to give people at least 2 to 3 months to consume it. So, and you can't put something that's going to expire next week and expect them to eat it. It's just not going to happen. So
as you were going through that build out, were there moments when you were like, this isn't worth it?
Every period, minute, period, of, period, every period,
and present
day,
tense.
period.
So what do you do? What have you done to deal with that, to overcome that, and just keep pressing forward?
I just keep reminding myself what customers have been asking for, that it's not, and it's a lesson I had to learn when I first started my first gifting company 20 years ago. Oh man, it's been 20 years. Holy cow.
Almost time for Medicare from the polling agency.
Wow. That was a lot.
Wow.
My goodness. I thought my 21 to 3 was a little tough. But
Right?
wow.
This is a tough room. It's lonely at the top, people. See
I'll
what
tell you what,
happens?
shoulda
It's
wore your Packers
lonely
helmet
at the
in.
top.
Goodness sakes.
Ignoring that.
You have every right to. Wow. That was. Whew.
No, I learned very early when I first started my business. It's not about the things that I like or the things that I want.
Yeah.
It's about what customers like and what customers want.
Exactly right.
Can't sell out of your own pocket.
That's right. When I first started my retail business, I would have suppliers come in from all the different, gift companies, and here's what's the hottest selling item. And it was this almost like a fishnet scarf. And I was like, okay, first of all, we're a gifting company. I get somebody might buy somebody a scarf for a gift, but that's not the kind of gift that we sell. We sell gift boxes, gift baskets, gift bags. We don't sell individual items. We're not a Hallmark, right? And she's like, I'm telling you, you're going to make a mistake if you don't put this in your store. And I said, and where are people going to put that in a gift basket? Like, that's not what we do. And she said, I'm telling you, you're going to regret it if you don't put this in your store. It's the hottest selling item. And I said, I would never buy that for myself. And she said, then that's the reason why you need to put it in your store. And I just looked at her and she said, whatever you like, your customers are not going to like. What your customers like, you're not going to like. Get over it. Put them in the store, and I'll tell you what, it was the hottest selling item.
Really?
And I thought, why am I even doing gift baskets when I can sell scarves, right? But then I had to go back and focus and say, no, because I walked out of a chamber meeting with 37 orders on napkins. That's why I do what I do. So I got to keep doing what my customers want, not what I want.
Yeah.
And that's the only way that I've been able to get through this, is to focus on the customer and not me.
That's a great point.
I've always got a lot of compliments on my fishnet scarf collection.
Have you?
Yeah.
Wow, I'd love to see that one day.
I branched out from the primary colors to some
Chicago.
other colors.
Chicago.
It doesn't surprise me that a Chicago Bears fan
You're a
would
White
like
Sox fan
fishnet
too, aren't you?
socks or fishnet scarves. I mean, come on. That's no surprise.
Goes with my stockings.
That's right. That's why you'll now be the ham
Now I
and
know what to get you
hamsters.
for Christmas.
I'm all set, thank you.
It's that soft side. Oh my gosh.
It's all yours, big boy.
I got nothing after that.
It's hard to beat that.
What's been the hardest part of the process? Is it your mindset, or is it getting third parties to deliver? Is it getting your team to understand what's going on and what it takes?
I think it's really been my mindset, because I had a plan. Going to do it this way. It's going to happen this way. And then it didn't.
And it happened exactly
And
that
it
way,
happened
Yeah.
not exactly that way at all.
Like everything.
So, like everything, right. And I had to remind myself, okay, you're not the one in charge. There's someone higher above you, way higher above you, that's in charge. So you just have to trust that he's got this and he's got you, and move forward. And I noticed that when I came in with confidence, my team had confidence and was just buzzing. When I came in unsure, the team was unsure. So I've made sure that every day I walk in confidence.
That's the That's, I think, probably for me been the hardest thing. Like, that's a great point you make. I've, in 2 years of being a business owner and dealing with my money versus somebody else's, I've had turnover. I've had employees not work out, employees leave to take opportunities with family, things like that. And then in the insurance industry, right, we've got pressures from above on, we're in the middle between the client and the carrier, and rate squeezes and coverage changes, underwriting changes, things like that, on top of sales goals and scoreboards and all of those things. And I've noticed that I think the biggest challenge for me had been walking into the room in the morning and setting the tone with confidence. This is what we're going to do today. And if we do it this way, we're going to be successful. And we don't care about anything that doesn't impact our activity.
Right.
Period. And we won't get distracted. And it's taken me just about this 2 years to actually get to that point and get over it. And to your point about, you're not alone in it. There's other forces at work. When I started to figure out which forces I need to lean on and rely on, one being faith, the other being who my real friends are in the industry and where I can get the truth from, who doesn't have an agenda, who's not trying to get something off of you or gain from your success and get you off focus.
Yes. Why I love our mastermind for that reason.
Because we actually...
Because we'll actually tell each other the truth.
Yeah, and we're not in the same industry.
Correct.
So really, there's no
and we're not
skin
in each
the
other's
game.
business, so we don't have a stake in anything other than I love you and I want you to know the truth as I see it.
Yep.
Well, and most of the people that are trying to get you off center are trying to get you on their own agenda.
Correct. Correct.
And they're not going to shoot you straight because they don't want you to be introspective enough to realize that they're full of crap.
Well, and there are people out there, a number of people who don't want you to be successful. No matter who you are.
They want you to be successful in the way they want you to be successful.
Correct.
Exactly. Focus
Correct.
on
So
things
it's not that they're not that big a hypocrite, right?
Right.
But they want you to satisfy their agenda, and in their eyes, that would be successful in their grand scheme of things.
Correct.
But in terms of being successful for what you do is the kind of crap that, they say, look at this pretty thing over here. When
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
what you
somebody
really need to be focused
somebody
on.
gives you a hug and
Exactly.
your wallet's missing after.
Right.
That's
Right. And when we
yeah.
lived in Washington State, we called that the Pacific Northwest knife.
Wow.
Because they'd hug you and stab you
Yeah.
all at
Yeah.
the same time.
I like to call it the okey doke. You get okey doked. I've been okey doked about 15 times in the last 2 years. I think
team is one of those hardest things too, right? Because as a business owner, we tend to put so much faith, so much trust, because we see potential in people that they don't necessarily see in themselves. And we want them to be how we see them and not how they see themselves. And then when they make decisions and do things that all of a sudden tell you, oh, they're never going to see them the way that I do. And they're never going to want the things for their life that I would want for them.
Yep.
Yeah. It's kind of disappointing, right? And it's disheartening because then you think, am I really going to find somebody who wants to do this like I do? And the answer is no, you never will. You'll never find a person that will have as much passion and conviction about your business as you do, ever.
Yeah. I mean, what makes it harder there is, and this term gets a negative connotation sometimes, I think, from, people who resonate with PE guy on Instagram. But, servant leadership, it can take on a Christian connotation. It can take on a servant leader is a soft leader type of connotation, but I don't believe that that's what it is. And research shows that that's not what it is from a strategic management standpoint. When you're a servant leader, you're really trying to develop people to get them to new levels of performance and execution for their benefit and your business's benefit.
Yes.
And you're putting their well-being, their mental well-being and their emotional well-being at the forefront of your process. And because that builds their confidence, makes them successful, but also makes it studies show that it increases their commitment
Correct.
to their work and your organization. The downside of it is, right, when you put that energy into somebody and then they make a decision that is counter to what you were thinking they believed in or were wanting, can really take you off track.
Oh, it set me back about 6 months.
And that is hard, and you have to make a conscious decision. Okay, do I believe in transactional leadership, or do I believe in relational leadership, right, which leads to servant leadership and serving your team as the leader, which is even more isolating, right? Because you're not addressing your needs, you're addressing their needs for the sake of the needs. Organization.
Correct. Yeah.
And if you make that conscious decision, you got to get back up on the horse. You have no choice,
time. Right?
Right. And
because they depend on that.
Yeah, and they come to rely on it. They take it for granted quite a bit.
Absolutely.
But a lot of times they don't even realize it's happening until it stops happening. Like they don't realize that's the type of leader you were until something happens where you're not. And that's going to happen because we're all imperfect. And we're going to have our moments where like we go backwards and treat a situation a little different than we usually do. And it shakes them a little bit, which is sometimes good, especially if you're intentional about that part. But if that's your core philosophy and you get knocked around a little bit from it, man, it can make you so unproductive because you're just so drained.
Absolutely.
And all you're thinking about is that impact.
And the burnout starts happening if you've been in it long enough, right? As long as I have for 20 years, then all of a sudden, and those old tapes start playing, oh, been here before. Mm-hmm. Yep. Man, every time I do this, I get kicked down. When is it going to end? Right? All that negativity playing. And I just have to remind myself, okay, well, you got to do it different this time. You have to do it again, and you have to do it different.
This is a wild thought, and I've thought about this before, but I think when people respect you to a certain point, you create a little bit of comfort.
Which is not culture.
No.
Correct.
But as a leader, you have to recognize that, they're not being lazy, but they respect you and they're comfortable around you as a person. Mm-hmm. But as a leader, that's when you got to kind of jump in their shorts a little bit and kind of not really do a total 180 on them, but kind of shake them up a little bit to say,
they need to understand that this is still work and you're still an employee and I'm still a leader.
I've done that with my team, right? Because starting with the small team and trying to build that leadership and then having them make other decisions that weren't in line with what we had all kind of thought how things were going to go and had agreed that things were going to go from the get-go, right? And then to come and change midstream. That really knocked me down. And then when I got my wits about me, then, and this is my personality, right? The personality that's driven by freedom and autonomy and all of that was like, how could you do this? And the one that wants to please and the one that wants to be loved and to belong and all of that, right? That person inside of me was like, how could you do this to me? What did I do? I just wanted to do the blah, 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 right? Call me the wambulance. And then there's my other personality, which becomes dominant when my back's up against the wall, which is my type A personality. And it's like, I don't care what I have to do, who I have to knock down, where I have to go, whatever. We're doing it.
Yeah.
We're gonna make this happen no matter what. I don't care. Right. And so all of a sudden that light switch came on. And the next morning I came in and I was like, okay, so today we're going to work on systems because I need to hire a new person and they're going to have to do this and they're going to have, and they were like, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. Nope. If you're not on board with where we're going, how we're doing it, nope. I'm going to get somebody who is,
Get
right?
over it. It's not group therapy.
And right. And then it was just kind of like, wait a minute. And then they came to me and said, you know, hey, I still want to be a part of this.
Right.
Like I'm still in this 100,000%. Right. I just need this time right now to take care of this. And then I'm like, that should have been the conversation then.
So in terms of your business, I mean, we probably met, I don't know, 9-10 months ago.
Yeah. 10 months
in
ago.
terms of staff, where are you at now versus when we last met?
I have staff now, which is really great, right? I mean, I did then. I had one full-time, one part-time, right? I've got 2 full-time,
Okay.
2 part-time people. Actually, I've got 3 full-time and 2 part-time people now. So it's really good.
That's the
team has grown.
Yeah.
And that's the pretty neat thing about what you're doing. And we should talk about the exciting part because you're almost ready to launch the what I would call the retail program, right? And the level of production your team has, the number of clients you have, and the volume that you put out from your warehouse is pretty impressive for 3 full-time employees and then some people that help you fulfill.
Thank you.
While still actually getting ready to launch a new website with a retail component and being able to manage all that inventory, I think is a great lesson for people, and that you don't have to be big to be big.
Correct.
Especially if you take advantage of what's out there for businesses.
And I learned that when I had my dropship business in 2010 after the crisis that I had to close my retail brick and mortar store for, right? Then I learned about dropship and bought a dropship company that at that time she had 5 clients and was maybe selling 10 baskets a month. And within 2 years, we took that to 167 online retailers and big box stores that we were supplying a line of gift baskets to. And we did over 2.1 million in revenue in 2 years. So
with how many people? You, right? You and your husband working for
4
free?
people. 4 people. Yep. It was 4 people. And we made it happen. And I learned a lot and it wasn't because we couldn't hire people. We just didn't have the time, literally, to hire people. We were at such a volume. We were 150 to 220 gifts a day going out the door. Who had time to recruit, to interview, to test? We didn't.
That's
so we just figured it out.
That you couldn't afford to do.
Right. We couldn't do it. So I learned how to run lean by accident, not on purpose. Now I'm doing it on purpose. Yeah. Because I know what a person can do. I know that a person can get out if they're just focused and it's production, right? I know they can get at least 30 to 40 gifts done in an hour.
Good process.
Boom, good process.
And a good work ethic.
Right.
You can.
How many times have you
quite a bit.
beta tested your business over the years?
A lot. And we have, we do time runs every so often, because especially when I'm getting ready to quote big jobs, right? We got to know what that labor is going to cost us. Right. So then I'm like, okay, girls, time test. Let's test the time of how long it's taken you to put something together and how long it'll take you to put this together, so that I know how many people, how many minutes, or how many hours of labor that's going to be in that job. And, so we've got it dialed down. So no, you don't have to be big as far as team is concerned to get a lot of things done. And like one of our full-time people is our online business manager. She's virtual. She's not even in the shop. She's virtual, but she's getting everything done behind the scenes. And like today we had our leadership meeting, and she had me reviewing all the SOPs that she's written. I'm like, oh my gosh, our SOP book is done. Like, wow, thank you for this. Right. Mm-hmm. And so we're so much further than where we thought. And I just went on vacation last month, and I was really nervous because every vacation before that, something's always come up where I've had to handle something or literally had to go buy things at stores to put something together and get it shipped out while I was on vacation, because there was nobody in the shop to do that, or they were off that day or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. They got sick and couldn't come in while I was gone or whatever. So I was really nervous this time. And I don't want to brag, but I have like the greatest team, because I didn't have to do a thing while I was gone for 11 days. And since I've been back, I've been able to focus on all the higher things of the business. I've actually been able to be in the owner role and the visionary role for the last month since I've been back. And they've been handling everything at the shop. And that's exactly, when we were here before, that's exactly where I wanted my business to be 10 months ago when we were here talking together, was I wanted my business to be able to run without me. And it can.
Oh, that's nice. That's a good way to end it, since we're up against the clock.
I'm curious.
What?
How did you get there? And for all the business owners that are listening, how did you finally get there? We've got a couple, 3 minutes.
You got 30 seconds.
Oh, we got a hard out here, I guess.
Yeah,
it must be on the hour, as they say in the biz.
One word: systems. We had to look at everything and make everything repeatable. Mm-hmm. Everything. I mean, my online business manager, Lana, and I sat and we looked at everything. And she said, how can we get that out of your head and down on paper so that anybody can do that?
Mm-hmm. Intensity and consistency.
Yeah, we had to automate everything where it didn't have to be me doing it. Like I just told Dennis today, it's so nice. I don't have to do another shipping label ever again.
Mm-hmm. Remove the person from the role.
Correct.
Exactly right. All right. Well, we have to end it here. But
my producer.
We could go on for
hours. The producer's shutting us down.
We
got a commercial break coming up here, so we hard out on the hour, I guess. I don't know.
Well, if we didn't waste so much time talking about the Packers and the Bears, it'd be,
hey, that's important stuff.
That is very important.
That's important stuff.
Brings listeners and viewers.
That's right.
Yes, there's a huge contingency.
People need to know how wrong Jay is about the Bears being the best. People need to know that.
Got to keep the rivalry alive, even if we move to Indiana.
That's right.
Yeah.
All
right.
You're welcome.
Good luck to y'all. Thanks again. Thank you, Twila, for another great conversation. And we'll see everybody next time on the Front Porch.
Thank you for joining us on the Front Porch. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow, share, and leave a review so more people can join the conversation. Until next time, keep showing up, keep leading strong, and we'll see you back on the porch soon.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.